Hey friends, one of my patrons asked how I put up these suspension poles on my own to suspend someone off of. It's not actually that much more work to show you how they work in general, so I'm just going to talk you through the whole process. I usually use this method because it allows me to put up a pole on my own and it comes up and down nice and quickly. It's not ideal for situations where you want to be regularly changing the height. Most people, for most situations, I think this works pretty well with minimum fuss. Remember, this isn't a suspension tutorial, this is only useful for people who are already suspending or who are just curious and want some more information. Assuming that your hardpoint is already sorted out and is perfectly reliable, all I need for this is 2 pieces of Hempex and a bamboo pole. The bamboo pole is about 1 3/4 inches thick. I don't usually go any thinner than that for suspension. The start of this is nice and simple. Just a lock's head, slipped over the end of the pole on both sides, and pull it down tight. Fun drinking game to play at home is drink every time I stare at the camera for no reason. Okay, so what do I do with the pole with the 2 locks heads tied onto the end of it? To begin with, all I want to do is drape both pieces of rope over the top of the hard point. I put one over my shoulder so I've got easy access to it. The first step of this does look a little bit awkward, but bear with me. Now both sides are draped, I can pull them up at the same time. Okay, now I pull them up to the height I want them to be. And this is a little bit lower than I normally put them because I want the camera to see. I need both sides to be at the right height before I tie off. So to do that, I'm going to hold one side with my mouth, which is not very sanitary. If you're precious about these things, you can use your foot instead. Now to hold one side in place whilst I tie up the other side, I'm going to use a quick release hitch. This is just temporary. You probably couldn't see that very well, so here it is close up. Same movement as a hitch, but pull a loop through and put a twist over the top of that loop. Nice. When you want to get it out, just pinch the twist and pull. Boom. So now we can do our first proper tie off. You'll note that I'm making sure that the rope isn't hanging diagonally from above, and I'm placing the ropes flush together. At this point, I know that I haven't got enough rope to go over the top and come back down again, so with the rope remaining, I'm wrapping them all together. This wrap is really important because the rope squeezing together on itself is what holds the bamboo pole in place. I wrap nice and tightly and then I finish off with some form of knot. The knot is pushed in between the wraps so that the downwards pressure of the suspension will lock the knot in place. I'll show you a few options in the close-up, but right now I'm using a reef knot. Okay, let's try again from a slightly better angle. Get the pole to the height that I want it. I'm going to go back up. I'm making sure my wrap is nice and flush with the ropes I've already tied. Having all these wraps nice and even means that when we load it for suspension, it'll be processed evenly by each wrap. Remember that the tension of this wrap here is what is going to hold the bamboo pole in place, which is where I'm being really specific with how I'm placing it. Okay, so a few options to finish. We can separate these lines and put a loop through, and then make a bow knot to finish. The bow knot's purpose is more to keep the ends short so they're not hanging down where they're going to be getting in the way. Once weight gets added to the pole, it will add tension to the vertical lines and lock the knot in place. Okay, let's look at some other ways of finishing this off. I could use the remainder of the rope to create yet more wraps, but as you can see, this is pretty time consuming. Some people like the aesthetic of it. I'm not a massive fan. One benefit is that you can go through it and make a reef knot with the end, which if you get the end small enough, that means that you've got a nice compact shape. I fall back on this option quite a lot. After I've done a tight wrap, I will make an X shape on the pole itself This is an efficient way of burning up that rope. When I haven't got enough rope to make more X's, I'm just going to make a couple of wraps, split the lines and make a reef knot to finish. I like the look of this one, does the job with minimal fuss. Okay, back to the action. I'm just going to undo this temporary tie and repeat the same procedure that I did before. I repeat, this is not a suspension tutorial, but look how easy it is to capsize the bamboo if you put weight in the wrong place. A little finger's worth of force can tip it on its side. A lot of less experienced people have been caught out by suspending on the end of bamboo. Okay, so I'm undoing now. I'm just going to give you one final little tip to help get it down to the ground easier. Once all the wraps are off and the bamboo's being held by a single bit of rope on one side, I'll slip a loop through a hitch and then another loop through. Let's see that in detail. Just slipped hitch and then another loop through. And that will hold itself whilst I undo the other end. Okay, now that quick release is in place, I'll just undo this really quickly. And now if I pull on the end, I can ease it down without having like a really harsh angle, which is a pain in the arse to undo. Hey, I hope that was useful. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments. And if you want to support us, the link to Patreon is on screen now.